In the annals of history, few names evoke as much awe and controversy as Alexander the Great, born in 356 BC in the ancient kingdom of Macedon. Alexander was not just a king, he was a visionary, a military prodigy whose ambition reshaped the known world. Today we journey through the life, conquest and enduring legacy of the man who dared to challenge destiny. From his earliest days, Alexander's destiny was shrouded in myths and prophecy. His mother Olympias nurtured the legends that he was born of divine lineage, a son of Zeus. These whispers of destiny were not merely tales for the heirs. They were the foundation upon which a future conqueror would rise. Educated by none other than Aristotle, Alexander absorbed the wisdom of philosophy, science and arts. Under Aristotle's tutelage, the young prince learned not only the strategies of war, but also the virtues of justice, reason, and the power of knowledge. It was in these formative years that Alexander's extraordinary blend of intellect and ambition took shape. As the son of King Philip II of Macedon, Alexander grew up amidst the rigors of military training and political intrigue. Philippinification of the Greek city-state had already set the stage for a grand destiny. Yet it was Alexander's own resolve that would soon elevate him beyond the legacy of his father. In 336 BC, tragedy struck. The assassination of King Philip II thrust the 20 years of Alexander into the turbulent world of politics and warfare. Despite his youth, his resolve never wavered. With a steely gaze and unwavering determination, Alexander consolidated power, quelling uprising and united the fractious element of his realm. It was not long before Alexander's ambition turned toward the horizon. Beyond the familiar lands of Greek and Macedon lay the vast formidable Persian Empire. In 334 BC, his march into Asia marked the beginning of military campaigns that would alter the course of history. Alexander's military genius was first demonstrated at the Battle of the Grantius River. In a daring and unconventional maneuver, he led his men against overwhelming odds, setting a precedent for his bold tactic to come. The Battle of Issus in 333 BC brought him face to face with King Darius III of Persia. Despite facing a larger army, Alexander's innovative strategies and relentless spirit led to a stunning victory that shook the foundation of the Persian Empire. In that moment, the fate of the empire began to tilt to his favor. With mere battlefield victories, Alexander demonstrated his mastery of siege warfare at Tyre, a fortified Iceland city where ingenuity and perseverance won the day after months of relentless effort. His triumph in Egypt, where he was hailed as a liberator, culminated in the founding of Alexandria, a city destined to become a beacon of culture, science, and learning. At the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC, Alexander faced Darius III once more. With a combination of tactical brilliance and daring cavalry charges, he decisively defeated the Persian force, dismantling an empire that has reigned for centuries. Alexander's conquests were not solely about territorial expansion. With each victory, he sowed the seeds of cultural fusion. His encounter with diverse people from the Persian and Egyptian to the Indians catalyzed an area of cultural exchange, later known as the Hellenistic Age. Under his rule, Greek language, art, and philosophy mingled with local traditions, creating a dynamic cultural tapestry that enriched every corner of his sprawling empire. In the cities he founded, knowledge thrived. Alexandria in particular became a center of learning, where scholars from across the world gathered, ensuring that the legacy of Greek thought would influence generations to come. A vision of a world united not by conquest alone but by the shared human pursuit of knowledge and progress. Yet even the mightiest of conquerors must eventually confront the limit of ambition. Driven by an desire to explore, Alexander pushed his army to the edge of the known world, venturing into the Indian subcontinent. Here at the banks of the Hydaspes River, he engaged King Porus in the battle that tested the resolve of both armies. Despite achieving victory, the toll of endless campaign began to weigh heavily on his weary soldiers. Their voices rose in unison, a demand to return home. In the pursuit of glory, evil legends must heed the call of mortality. As the campaign wound down, Alexander's vision of a unified world remained tantalizingly incomplete. A dream that would inspire future generations of conquerors and visionaries alike. In 323 BC, in the ancient city of Babylon, the life of Alexander the Great came to an abrupt end. At just 32 years old, his sudden disbelief of an empire bereft of a unifying leader, sparking power struggles among his generals and the eventual fragmentation of his vast realm. The impact of his short meteoric life was indelible. Alexander's legacy is not measured solely into the territories he conquered, but in the cultural bridge he built. The Hellenistic age that followed saw the fusion of Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and Indian cultures, a synthesis that enriched art, science, and philosophy across continents.